Welcome to Forum Views, the magazine programme from Cavan TV with your hosts, myself, Daniel Downey, and...
me, Kate Reynolds.
Welcome, folks.
Okay, actually, we're changing the format of our magazine show. Instead of having a series of mini interviews, we're going to have a live panel discussion on the local news and national issues that take place, and that will start next week.
Yes, we'll be inviting different people to the studio to go through the papers and hopefully get some interesting discussions going.
Yeah, or rouse more like, I'd say. That's the idea anyway. So if you have any ideas or are interested in planning or joining our panellists next Friday night, do contact us at drumlinmedia@gmail.com.
Well, Jerry Fitzpatrick from Community Forum is going to go through the Anglo-Celt with us. Then we'll have Councillor MacDonald. And after that, we'll be talking to...
Catherine McKiernan and Liam Daly from New Stage Theatre.
Excellent. So, but first we're going to be talking to Jerry
Fitzpatrick.
Welcome. Welcome, Jerry.
Jerry.
Well, I'm delighted to be here to discuss the good news.
Right, Jerry
Excellent.
Fitzpatrick is on the Community Forum on Breffni Integrated Limited.
Yeah.
Been on the forum about 8 years now, Jerry, haven't you?
8 years, and I've recently gone on to the Breffni Integrated, the local development company for community.
Very good.
We're always looking out for good news for the community sector in County Cavan.
Well, let's start with some interesting news. The begrudgers.
Yeah.
What a story this is, isn't it?
So, where do we start? The begrudgers have gone from success to success without a hitch until now. So they had a show completely pre-made, and then after that...
It was, what happened? What happened was that they did a car chase with a bus.
Yeah.
And they hired one of the Bazaran buses.
Mm-hmm.
And then RTE said that they couldn't show it unless they got permission from Bazaran, that they could use it on broadcasting.
Which
and Bazaran said
wasn't
no.
given. Yeah, unfortunate.
said
Very
no.
unfortunate. But they did have a good backup video to promote. So it's very important, folks, that you get online and vote for the begrudgers, because this is the final to get a Cavan TV show on RTE regularly. Very important.
Have you seen the last one?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it's very good. I think it's very good, actually.
Well, as a quick put together, it's brilliant. But I must say, I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure about their singing skills.
Can I just say, you must say, the begrudgers in this are the CIE Bazaran.
Yeah.
They begrudge them.
I think, it's incumbent on us now to rise above this and support begrudgers, in their plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So get out there and vote.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get
do we have a
short
short
clip
clip of the begrudgers?
Yeah.
We may have one at some stage during the show.
Okay, well, we'll move on while they're looking for that. The next thing, of course, is Come Dine With Me.
It's still Cavan and television. Cavan's time in the TV and RTE is very good. So Cavan hits the screen with the Come Dine With Me series.
Yeah.
And it's in the Cavan Monaghan area, where a selection of young people are chosen to literally just cook their meals and show it off, and people come round and criticise or compliment the quality of the event.
Well, I thought I'm sure everybody's seen, Come Dine With Me, but I thought one of the funniest bits in this story was where your woman Pauline Farrelly, who's doing it,
Mm-hmm.
okay, she's not a great cook apparently, that's what the article says, not me, but anyway, she served up baked Alaska for the dessert, still frozen. That's just brilliant, isn't it?
Well,
so well done, Pauline.
Maybe it's the weather that was in it. She wanted to put ice cream.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So good luck, guys. I haven't seen any of it yet, but I hope to.
It'll be good. It'll be very good.
So moving on then.
300,000 euros of drugs found in the last week, and that's also 14 grow houses of cannabis discovered in just 2 years in Cavan.
I know, it's just ridiculous, this, isn't it? I mean, since doing this review, as I said last week, you'd think that Cavan was the hub of brothels and drugs and all the rest of it. But extraordinary,
Yeah.
What more can we say? I think we've covered that, really.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to
Jerry,
take
what do
away.
you...
I don't want to take away from the seriousness of it, but it does point up to the the agricultural base and the strength of the the resources that are available in County Cavan.
It's agricultural enterprising. Yeah.
It's certainly a note to be taken. That's not to take away from the seriousness of
Well, it is a serious issue, particularly because drugs and the use of drugs is such a serious issue in Cavan, and that's what one has to remember. And when you consider how small it is, Cavan, I mean, I wonder what... Yeah. I mean, maybe we're supplying the rest of the country. Maybe it's that good business sense, as you say, Jerry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So let's move on to a very unfortunate event that took place last weekend. It's the tragedy that happened at the rally in Bailieborough.
There's so many safety precautions in place. They had enough stewards on. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those awful, awful things where disaster happened, and my sympathy to everybody involved, both the organisers, but obviously the families.
It is absolutely a terrible tragedy for Cavan. Yeah.
I don't think there's much more we can say about that, really.
So, on a lighter note, Cavan author has scooped the book prize.
Yeah, this is great, isn't it? Good for her. So that's we've got a couple of Cavan. I mean, we're very good in our writers.
Celine Kiernan, isn't it?
Yeah. So congratulations to her. She's a children's author, fantasy, 2012 CBI Book of the Year. Into the Grey, the novel's called. So, congratulations to her. And I just think it just adds to our list of... We've got excellent writers, a whole array of them in Cavan. And our art scene is, to die for, really. So congratulations, Celine.
And she won €5,000.
Oh,
that's good.
Very nice. Yeah, that would be very nice. Well, that'll help her on her way as well, presumably.
Now, we have an interesting article here. Sinn Féin to suffer most if Cavan Monaghan constituency becomes a 4-seater.
Well, I read that article, and I didn't actually say why. Jerry, do you know why?
Yes, I do. The government has tasked an electoral commission to reduce the number of TDs down from 166 and anything between 156 and 160.
Yeah, but
so
the simple. Be affected?
What happened is that they looked at the populations throughout the existing constituencies and have made a redistribution recommendation. How does that affect our Cavan Monaghan area? We have a 5-seater in Cavan Monaghan at the moment, and the recommendation is that it be reduced to a 4-seater.
Right.
Now,
but why will Sinn Féin be impacted rather than Fianna Gael or Fianna Fáil?
The analysis of the last election is that there is 5 seats. Fianna Gael won 3, Fianna Fáil won 1, and Sinn Féin won 1 seat.
Right.
However, in fact, her name is Catherine O'Reilly. She came a very close 6th, and therefore it looked as if the next election, Catherine, or if she was standing again, would take a 2nd seat for Sinn Féin.
But you don't think that will happen if they've reduced the seats?
In reduction from 5-seater to a 4-seater, the preferences would militate against Sinn Féin taking the 4th seat.
Right.
Now, of course, we don't know what's going to happen.
No.
But in any reduction from a 5 to a 4, the if you like, the smaller parties traditionally have been at a disadvantage. But we have to wait and see. First of all, it's only a recommendation that it be reduced from a 5 to a 4, and the electorate will make their own minds up.
Well, and as we've been seeing from the polls, Sinn Féin have overtaken the Labour Party.
Indeed.
So, maybe we'll have 3 Sinn Féin TDs.
Well, Kate, you're quite right.
3 standing.
You're quite right. The opinion.
Yeah.
You're quite right. The opinion polls are pointing to Sinn Féin being the 2nd largest party electorally in the country at the moment, and in a general election in which we have to be honest, but we have to be realistic. Will probably be 2 or 3 years away. Anything can happen.
It's true. Anything at all. I mean, but like if you take into account the disillusionment a lot of people have with Fine Gael in this term, and Fianna Fáil in the previous term, it just seems to be that anything could happen in the next 2 or 3 years.
Very exciting times,
yes,
I think.
Definitely, definitely.
Moving on then.
So we're on to there's nothing that will stop me getting to Kerry. Nothing.
This is the girl from Shercock. The
Shercock lassie.
The Rose.
She's going for the Rose of Tralee finals.
Yeah.
What's her name? Is it Alison?
It's Alison Harper.
Oh, well
she's
done,
21
well done.
from Shercock. And for a 21-year-old, she has extreme confidence. I'm sure she'll do very well, brilliantly. So she has her sights set on the Rose of Tralee finals.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck.
Well, I think we should obviously commend and support Alison coming forward from the county to the Rose of Tralee.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just add that there is another County Cavan girl who's standing or is in the competition.
Yeah, of course, that's Anne-Marie Lynch, but we covered her before, but she's coming from New York, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's a New York Rose, certainly. But she's a Cavan native.
Yeah,
so
we know.
the next one we have O'Hare demands extra cover for medical card patients.
Yeah.
This is Councillor John O'Hare.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the medical card, there are many things that you can go to the doctor for that aren't covered by the medical card. So changing dressings, I think, is one of them.
An exceptional one that, it's something that I would not take into account. If I broke my arm and I'm on the medical card, I have to pay for all the dressings.
Yeah.
That's something you wouldn't usually anticipate.
And then warfarin.
Yeah.
Is another one. I know so many people who's on warfarin. It's the blood thinner, isn't it? What are the other ones, Dan?
Well, there's quite a few there, but speaking to Anglo-Celt, he gave a breakdown of where the costs occur. 40 to 50 euros for doctor consultation to start, or further examinations of 15 to 25 euros for warfarin or other blood monitoring services.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for someone who's on 188 euros a week, for example, to try and fork out, or trying to support others.
Well, I don't know how you can do that, but so good for you, John O'Hare. It's that we need to do that. So
yeah, it's a good topic to highlight.
Yeah,
it should be raised that there's press comment and politicians talk about the medical card and its availability.
Mm-hmm.
That story tells you that look twice, because if patients are having to pay significant extra costs, then you just have to think twice about what the value of the medical card is.
Well, it is
that.
valuable,
but
I
fully
at the same
accept
time,
it is. It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very important safety net in our county, in our country. But when you look at the detail of what patients are with medical cards are expected to pay for these extras, it really does. Okay. It really does take your breath away.
Right, so we're going to move on.
Let's go back to politics, and we're talking about the election posters. Are they to be banned in Cavan? The councillors are quite divided on the issue, apparently, with Councillor Maura Maguire-Lynch calling for a reduction of the posters. What are your takes on this?
I don't know. I mean, they are horrible when they're all up all over the place, and they really do detract from the county and how the county looks, I think. But on the other hand, it is quite useful to see the candidates, if you don't have a chance. So could you not, maybe I agree with Maura, could you not maybe just have 10 per, that each candidate can put up 10 posters? Yeah.
Or, well, one of her suggestions was that posters would only be allowed outside the 50 km/h zone. So that's possibly a way to go. Yeah.
Okay.
I would have thought there's a balance. It's very important for the public to see a poster from the relevant parties and candidates that are standing. But there could be a sensible regulation about, a time limit about when they go up and when they're taken down. And not, as Daniel's suggesting, or as the councillor is suggesting, that, they are not placed in certain locations, which could be a road safety issue.
Well, also just that they're not littered all over the place, because it can look littering. Anyway, let's. The Bealtaine Festival is finished, I think, now.
The Bealtaine Festival is. It is.
Bealtaine. All right. Bealtaine. Sorry, guys.
So it's it's apparently it was a highly successful festival, and some absolutely brilliant outcomes for it. Brilliant. So there's some photographs there in the Anglo-Celt that cover it. And check out the paper for more details. Yeah. Brilliant.
So this is an interesting story. The high sugar levels in the grass
of Cavan.
So does that mean we're going to see the cows lepping around the fields?
Diabetic cows, maybe. Well, it's now, folks, don't go out and start chewing the cud yourselves. But it does mean that a higher sugar content leads to higher beef quality as well. Which is a great sign for our agricultural industry.
So does that mean
livestock industry?
Well, yeah, but does that mean our beef farmers can, charge more for their?
Well, possibly, or maybe just When you
Why
when you
is it?
source where your food comes from, and
Yeah.
people say that was a great steak, where did that come from, and they see Cavan on it, more people will want to buy Cavan steak. I mean, that's how
'Cause
for
it's
example
sweeter.
that's how, for example, Angus steak made it smart.
It's true, actually. That is true.
Put more quality into the produce, made it
Yeah.
as a brand, and then
Yeah, absolutely. So, but just quickly though, Daniel,
Yeah.
do you know why Cavan
well,
grass is
it's to
sweeter?
do with the nitrogen levels in the grass and how
Okay.
it maintains the perfect pH level.
Right.
It's quite scientific, but
Okay.
it's not beyond understanding. So, folks, have a look at that article. It's
Okay.
fairly interesting in the farming focus section of the Anglo-Celt.
Okay. So, staying with farmers, actually.
But not necessarily just farmers.
Well, how many? Isn't this? Aren't the farmers concerned because the land, the civil partnership, identifies the land,
Mhm.
and the farmer obviously his land is his business. Isn't that right, Jerry? Do you know about this?
Yes, we're talking first of all about civil partnership
Yeah.
laws.
Yeah.
At the moment, when a man and a wife, a farmer, and his wife, they own the land. They
Yeah.
have the co-ownership.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, in a circumstance where you have a civil partnership,
Mhm.
you essentially have the same legal arrangement. In
Right.
other words, the land is co-owned,
Right.
and therefore there are issues about succession. There are issues about
Well, just the business, because say
Yes.
if we run a business, and you're in a civil partnership, the business isn't half the civil partnership, is it?
You're right, it isn't.
But for the
but
farmer,
land
it would
is,
be. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's the issue for farmers.
it's an asset
really.
of.
Yeah. Okay. So farmers will leave you to, I'm sure, the IFI.
We're lobbying strongly.
Yes,
It'll
I'm
be
sure.
a very interesting topic to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
But I just found one part interesting, that this agreement may pave the way for a recognition of prenuptial agreements in Ireland. Now, I'm not married myself, but I didn't realise that prenuptial agreements weren't in Ireland, weren't in recognition. It's an interesting topic, but something that'll be revisited.
Yeah. We'll you better start talking to Yuri.
And finally, we're on to a very successful story in Cavan, covering the walking festival that we've been covering on this show for the last few weeks. And Cavan
From
Gauna.
No, not, but from the seat.
Yes.
Doing absolutely no walking whatsoever.
Have
Have you been walking, Jerry? Are you a walker?
I'm not really, but it's very important. I know this, the Operation Transformation,
Yeah.
in different parts of the county, has engaged, walking initiatives,
Yeah.
and this is all to the very good. It's keep fit.
It's great.
It's showing our local community, showing our local
Well, over
resources
300
and our
people
scenery.
registered for the walking festival. Then last week, the Quilca Challenge,
Mm,
Yeah.
there were hundreds of people
hundreds
there
of people for that one challenge. It
going
was
up
great.
Quilca, and that's not an easy walk, I can tell you.
That's a stroll.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so congratulations to the Sports Partnership, because
Brilliant.
that went really well, and keep it up.
Yeah.
So we're going
So that's
to
it, folks,
finish
for
it up
the
now.
Anglo-Celt. Catch more of those very interesting stories from the Anglo-Celt this week. Pick up your copy in the local shops. And we're going to go for a break right now.
Yeah, and after the break, then we have Paddy MacDonald, Councillor Paddy MacDonald, joining us, and we're going to be discussing the cuts proposed for the community employment schemes. So stay tuned, and we'll see you after the break.
Welcome back to Forum Views and welcome Paddy MacDonald. Thanks so much for coming in, Paddy. Last week Sinn Féin invited Social Protection Minister Joan Burton to Cavan. Can you tell us why?
At the last council meeting on the 22nd, I had a motion down for discussion on the Clár. It was in relation to the cutbacks in community employment schemes.
Right.
Now, after a long debate for about half an hour, there was unanimous support from Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and what was agreed at the end of the meeting, at the discussion, was that we would send an invitation to our Minister Joan Burton to come and to Cavan and address the people that involved in these community schemes.
Yeah.
There was unanimous support for it. Now the council have written to her.
Great.
And as of now we have heard nothing back yet, so
Great.
I would be hoping that...
Because community employment now, I mean, in Cavan, there must be hundreds of people employed under community employment. There are over 900 community employment schemes throughout the country, I think. And what this does is it employs long-term unemployed people, and it provides training supports to people, and it gets people back into the workplace. It's been one of the most successful work incentive schemes, back to work schemes, for the last 10-15 years that it's been in place, and people get back to work. So it gives people preparation, and it gives people, an opportunity to get out, and it gets people back to work, and they're provided training, and they're in the workplace. So to have cuts will be awful. Jerry, do you know anything about the CE scheme? Do you work with CE workers as well?
Well, two things. One is that, yes, first of all, I'm a sponsor of a community employment scheme in West Cavan, which actually stretches from Killashandra, Arva and Lochgowna.
Right.
So we're very familiar as a sponsor, a community development association, sponsoring the community employment scheme, which does employ folk and does produce very important social community work, in our local communities. Now, here's the point, and this is why I strongly support Paddy's initiative. There is a very significant cut to the budgets that underpin community employment.
Yeah, do we know what those cuts are? Was it, Paddy, do you know what the...
Well, just to elaborate on Jerry's point about the cuts, I'm chairman of the Bailborough Community Employment Scheme, and our supervisor, Sheila Traynor, has informed me that the funding has been cut from 1,500 to 500 per employee.
1,500 to 500.
To 500.
That's a significant cut.
That's
two-thirds.
Two-thirds.
Yeah.
So is that in their pay as well, or is it the training?
That's funding for machines,
Okay.
training,
Okay, it's
and the
materials.
upkeep of training. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to elaborate
That's
on
a two-third cut.
it's true that and let's just take note of this. A person coming on the community employment scheme, long-term unemployed person coming back into the workforce, doing something useful in the community, actually gets only 20 euros
more
extra on top of their
unemployment benefit. Yeah.
But they do a significant number of hours in the community. That's not been touched. But there are two things. There is a real reluctance to replace community employment persons. They can only stay on for a set period of time. So that's a cut.
Right.
It's a hidden cut,
Right.
where they are reluctant to take on new persons after somebody comes off the scheme.
Yeah.
But what Paddy's referring to, when we refer to the 1,500 being reduced to 500, that's very important, because that allows the work to be done.
It's the materials and the training.
It's the materials. So take our community employment
Yeah.
scheme. That reduction of two-thirds
Yeah.
means that there isn't something useful. There isn't
Right.
material. For example,
So if you
you're
want to
doing
cut the
strimming,
lawns,
you haven't got the strimmer cord.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
If the petrol to run the strimmer or the mower, that's
That's
reduced,
not there.
and that
Okay.
throws into jeopardy
Yeah.
the scheme,
Yeah.
and it also means that local communities like our own have to then go out and fundraise to provide those.
So I mean,
materials.
it's important to remember as well the kind of work that the people do. I mean, we've come highly up, as someone was saying to me earlier, in the tidy towns. We've soared in our tidy towns, and a lot of that work is done by CE workers.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole roll-on, a scenario. If we don't keep the tidy towns going, if we don't have people out there working on strimming, everything will sort of dissemble, really.
Yeah.
Is this not following on from that point, is it not also, like, I'll talk about my own personal point of view. I know what long-term unemployment is like, and a scheme like this is something that can actually give you the motivation to get out of bed in the morning. You know, it's actually, I've hit that period in life where you have actually gone, I have nothing to get up for, you know, and it is difficult to self-motivate. But schemes like this, if they're properly funded, they can definitely motivate people and improve the community around it.
Yeah.
But this impact, this cut, is it not a kind of a way of cutting growth, of cutting morale in the community, of demoralising the community? That's how I would see a cut like that.
It is, of course, and people think that FOSS is all about cutting grass and that, but they think you develop a lot more skills. Like they can get computer courses, they can be trained in block work, brickwork, painting.
Yeah.
And actually, in the Bailieborough area, there's about 15 people involved in childcare and after school crashes and all that.
Yeah.
So it's not just all about cutting grass and tidying.
You're quite right, Paddy.
They've been developed in a lot of different skills. So
It's
that when
growing
they finish
people
their
as well as
FOSS
growing
courses-
flowers.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But also, I'm sure CE is one of the highest schemes that gets people back into employment, as I was saying at the beginning. I think it's a huge rate, isn't it? Do you have figures at all there, Paddy?
I can quote from
Yeah.
to be parochial in the
Bailieborough,
Bailieborough area, and the 9-10 scheme, we had 25 people that left. One started his own business,
Brilliant.
2 went back to full-time employment, and 13 got part-time employment, and 4 went to occasional employment, and only 1 went back on the live register.
That's extraordinary.
That is fantastic.
So that just shows you
Yeah.
the amount of people that get some skills out of it, like, you know. So it's very encouraging for people to get up and get some little bit of skills and be able to develop them further on in their life.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that is. And tell me, what do you do in Bailieborough? Tell us a little bit about the Bailieborough scheme.
Well, in Bailieborough we have Bailieborough Resource House.
Mm-hmm.
We have in Cotilden we have Drumlin House.
Yeah.
We have the preschool and after school Little Stars.
Right.
And actually, when you think about it, the FOSS schemes are actually saving the state money
Yeah.
because they're providing people into these communities, centres where people should be employed by the state, and it just goes to show you the benefit of them.
Yeah.
You know.
It does, and does it take people off the live register as well? When you're on CE, you're not on the live register anymore.
That's right. It does.
Yeah.
Of course,
So,
yeah.
if I just saw, I was trying to identify exactly how many schemes, and Jerry, you think that there's 900 schemes, okay? Nationally. And how many would that add to the live register then, do you think? It must be, I wonder how many.
Difficult to measure how many.
It is.
But how many on
How many
the
in
average
Bailieborough?
scheme?
In the average scheme in Bailieborough, we have 36 participants.
On the average scheme,
Yeah.
Bailieborough, 36 by 900. You know,
That's right.
on that, rough figures, you know, that's a
You're
huge
talking
amount of people.
Maybe 5,000-6,000 at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
I think it is of that order, and
Yeah.
I think there's an issue, yes, about
So imagine
do the
the live
government
register going up.
manipulate the live register, because obviously
No,
headline
no.
figures are very important, and they make or break governments
Yeah.
in every jurisdiction. But I think we would still, this is why I share and support Paddy's figures that point to this important change in people's lives of where the long-term unemployed are given an opportunity of doing something useful in the community and
learning.
get some skills
Yeah.
and have that get-go that Daniel referred to, the motivation
Exactly.
to get up in the morning and do something useful
So
in the
what
community.
happens to the likes of Joan Burton then when, if she'd been in the opposition, and this had been being said, you can hear her now. You can hear her. But now she's minister, I'd be really interested to see if she comes. And if she comes, Paddy, let's take her around the whole of the county and get her to tell these people exactly
Why the
they're
cuts
doing
have been inflicted on the schemes.
Yeah, well, we should actually show her some of the good work to do, like, you know what I mean? Should bring her around and, like, in Bailieborough now, on the entrance to the town there. They do little walls,
Yeah.
stonework, brickwork.
Yeah.
They do flower beds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And they
it's-
look after the children.
They look after children,
Yeah.
so they do a lot of
Yeah.
very good work.
Okay, well, let's get Cavan TV to interview
Yes.
her when she comes, and we can pose some of those
We'll pop
difficult
her on the spot,
questions.
Put her on the spot.
Yeah.
We'll put her on the spot, okay.
Excellent.
Or we'll follow her around the various spots that the
Yeah.
schemes are in.
From an unemployed person's point of view, if they wanted to get involved in a scheme, how do they go about it? Is that-
You go to your FOSS office.
And
Yeah.
just-
And the FOSS office, which is in Thomas Ashe Street,
Yep.
there's a whole list of jobs and opportunities available. So if you're unemployed, you go into your FOSS office and you can apply. And there are some great schemes across the county. So
Yes.
do go and get involved because it re-engages you. It can be good fun. There's excellent training. And they cross a whole range of areas where it's mental health areas, childcare, landscaping, working in libraries, working in community groups.
There's something for everybody, folks.
Lots of different opportunities there. So do go, folks. Check it out in Thomas Ashe Street. We are coming to the end of our session. I want to thank you both very much for coming, and I think this issue is going to run and run, really, and I'm sure we'll be coming back at our panel debates to discuss it. If you could make, just before we go, if you could make one comment to the Minister, both of you, what would it be?
Well, I'd appeal to Minister Joan Burton to take an in-look into what's happening here in rural Ireland. Like, rural Ireland is forgotten about, and hopefully that she will see the sense in keeping our community employment schemes operating, because they do operate and serve the community of all over the country, not just in Cavan.
Yeah, and themselves, they serve people well as well.
I support Paddy. I think that we should say to Joan when she comes here, stand up for your principles that you articulated so well when you were in opposition, and fight at that cabinet table for the resources. You know, let's have some balance between what we give to the banks to bail them out and the resources, scarce as they are, that we should give to sustain our community initiatives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, well said. Okay, so thank you very much for coming in, guys. As hopefully we'll discuss it again, and we'll have you back on our panel sessions, which are going to take place on Friday nights live. So we're going to go to a break now, and after the break we'll be chatting to Catherine McKiernan and Liam Daly, who are from the New Stage Theatre in Mulla.
Welcome back to Forum Views, the magazine show on Cavan TV every Friday night at 7 p.m. With us now is Catherine and Liam from the New Stage Theatre. Thank you both for coming in, and welcome to Forum Views.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So tell us about New Stage Theatre in Mulla. Tell us a little about the group. I know about the work it does, but tell us how you got going and what it is.
We started about 3 years ago. Liam had completed a course in Maynooth drama and theatre studies, and then I went on and did the same course about a year or two after you, I'd say.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we both got, originally we had set up Miller Ace Drama Group in 2001, and we both got chatting and felt that we should take the skills we'd learned in Maynooth back to the community.
Oh, very good.
And
not many people do that. Congratulations.
Must have been quite an inspiring course to
it's
do that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a 2-year course, and it's
Okay.
a brilliant course.
Okay.
So we set up New Stage Theatre, and we run 3 classes with 6 to 8-year-olds, 9 to 12-year-olds, and teenagers on
Excellent.
Thursdays. So
Okay.
we normally run October to March.
Do you have a theatre in Muller?
With Muller Hall, it's
Right.
it's very well equipped.
Okay,
Muller Hall,
that's great. Okay,
Mm.
so go on. So you run classes then?
We run classes on a Thursday from, it's a community-based group, so we normally run from October to March because we feel come March the evenings are getting good
Yeah.
and kids
Kids
should
want
be
to
out
be out.
playing,
Yeah.
outside acting
Yeah.
than inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not sure that actually happens. I think they're still inside on their computers these days. But, the idea is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think both of us really. I know when in the 80s in Mulla there was there was men and women like ourselves at the time running pioneers and talent shows and
Yeah.
talent groups, and we
Yeah.
were both involved in that as children.
Yeah.
And felt that there was a need to give some of that back.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting. I think during the sort of 70s and 80s, there were a lot of drama groups across County Cavan, and indeed, Shercock has its drama group, which is well known. But that has died away a little bit, and it's not something that we've been able to pass down.
Yeah, the Celtic
very
Tiger
much.
seems to be a gap there
Yeah.
in cultural
That's
expression,
right.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think there's a gap there for those years, and I think it's well on the way back at the moment in Cavan.
This
So-
recession's a great thing now for some people.
Yeah.
So
The
do you
recession
have
and the flair.
do you have a lot of kids coming in? I mean, you have kids wanting to come, and
Yeah.
so tell us about what you do with the kids. Tell us about some
well,
of the.
normally the way we'd work, the first term, we would do a lot of drama games,
Right.
and not like for performance, but
Right.
also for social skills.
Right, okay.
So you're sort of helping them do role play,
Yeah.
and it could be as simple as myself and Liam acting out. We'll say a schoolyard scenario where I want to join the team, he's not letting me, so he might be being mean to me,
Right.
or the other way around.
Okay.
And you get the kids to watch, and then of course they're horrified, they're telling you that's not what you do, and we get them to do it.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
like forum theatre.
it's
isn't it?
forum theatre,
Yeah,
and it's
I love
teaching
that.
them
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
how to cope in a situation
Yeah.
like that. So we feel it's twofold. It's for performance, but also for building social skills.
Yeah, very good.
And then in the second term, we try to work with the kids on their ideas,
Okay.
and we would try and write something around their ideas.
Okay,
and get,
so like Melanders.
like Melanders.
Okay, so
and-
let's get on to Melanders
yeah.
then.
How did
Catherine?
that come about, Melanders?
We've
Where
got
did the idea?
photographs. I think we've got photographs,
Yeah.
haven't we, of the Melanders putting it.
Oh,
is
there we go,
that's
on
it,
the-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Melanders. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got
So
the kids
is
there
this one of
performing.
those projects that came from the kids' desires, from their ideas, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, tell us all. Tell us their secrets.
We kind of felt there was nothing during the summer for teenagers in Mulla,
Yeah.
so we decided to run a week-long workshop
Right.
for teenagers and see who was interested. We had a number of teenagers come in, and we started just brainstorming their ideas, what they wanted to do, as opposed to looking at a play or a piece, a specific piece. And they came up with several little ideas they wanted to do, and Catherine brought it away and started writing, and came back and went kind of sat down with them and worked it out and acted it out, improvised the scenes a number of times,
Okay.
and Catherine wrote the piece.
Okay.
Lovely.
So Melanders, let's have a look at what they're doing here.
Yeah, there's a few more scenes.
Yeah.
So what's that? Tell
So
us.
what happened was, so we recorded it for Cavan
Community
Radio,
radio,
the 7
yeah.
episodes, and then we decided that we would put it on stage.
Okay.
So we actually put the play on in the
Okay.
Rammer, and that was them rehearsing for the Rammer.
Oh,
Very
there they
good.
are.
Ah,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the crew there.
Okay, so maybe we need to just tell people a little bit about what Melanders is. What's the storyline? Just quickly,
I'll
Catherine.
quickly tell you
Yeah.
the story. How it started was one of the lads had lost his mobile phone. This part's true, And when he found it, he was lost for 3 months, and when he found it, he had no texts and 5 missed calls from himself ringing the phone.
That is so sad.
I know, but he's a great lad, and he's a great sense of humour.
Yeah.
So when we heard that, we were saying, God, you could write something about that.
Yeah.
So we ended up
Right.
doing this piece, and it was all light-hearted, but you were covering things like, you know, the whole mobile phone thing, and covered a bit of bullying in it, contention at home. So we covered their issues, but in a light-hearted, fun way.
Good.
And
So
it was great fun.
It was great
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
So the next thing that you've been doing then is the film, the sound.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
What is that?
Again, that was an idea Catherine had. I suppose it stemmed from
Shane.
Shane.
Shane? Who's Shane?
Shane's my son.
Oh, right, okay.
And when I was sitting down to type, Shane used to keep coming over and saying, would I type his movies? So he was 6 at the time. So he was telling me, making up these movies called Galaxy Wars, and I was sitting typing away.
Right, okay.
And then he decided he wanted to write to Hector on 2FM.
Okay.
So he made me write the letter, and he just stood and dictated, and his letter was, I'm going to have auditions at my house, and I want adults to come in an hour and the children to come in 5 minutes. So he made me post the letter, and he kept saying he's going to read it, and I was saying, but Shane, you know, he gets hundreds of letters, like never thinking he would. And they rang and they spoke to him on air.
It's the kind of thing Hector would love, though.
Yeah.
It's a bit mad like that.
And so as part of the whole letter thing, they actually sent him, myself and Jack, his brother, and Shane went to Kilkenny and with the Young Irish Filmmakers, and they filmed a trailer. So it was one of these coming soon to a cinema near you.
Wow.
And then they said that they realised that we had the group in Mulla, and said if we ever wanted to work with them, they'd be interested in working with us.
Brilliant.
So we had an idea, we chatted about an idea of a script, and we typed it up and sent it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was based in Temple Kelly, which is a beautiful Church of Ireland in Mulla.
Mm-hmm.
And they liked it and came down. We had to go looking for funding.
So we got a bit of funding from Piece 3 because we were bringing both communities together.
Right.
And got a bit of funding from Mayday Mulla, and we workshopped it a number of times, myself and Catherine, with the children, and had them prepared for the Young Irish Filmmakers when Gary came up.
Okay, so have we got photographs? I think we've got photographs of
talk
the
us through a
making
couple
of
of
the
these
sound.
here.
That's the very first scene. So there was 6 boys in it.
Mm-hmm.
But what Young Irish Filmmakers do, they train 6 other children to work. Oh, that's the crew. So they actually filmed it. They had spent a day training on sound, clapper, direction, camera. So they're actually carrying out the filming.
They really got into it.
So the boys are carrying out the
Yeah.
filming. Great.
And that's the start of the movie, and they're afraid to go in there. That's really, and then as it develops, they're hearing, one of them keeps hearing a sound that no one else can hear. A few twists and turns. And as the kids said at the end, it wasn't a cliffhanger, it's a twist hanger.
So it's a twist hanger movie coming to you soon.
Yeah.
So tell us, when can we see it, or what, is it going to go out on RTE or what?
It's not that long enough, I would say. It's literally a 10-minute movie.
Okay.
What we'll do, we're going to put it into competition anyway.
Excellent.
And we got the draft copy last week. He sent us a proof for Liam and myself to look at.
Okay.
And we were happy.
Yeah, there's a few little things we were asked him to maybe edit slightly, but very good.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Excellent.
It really gave the kids a flavour of not just being filmed, but filming as well.
That's right, yeah.
That's
we were
valuable
quite
education.
Surprised by the interest in the kids behind the camera.
Brilliant.
Sure, there is. And so is that something that you can run again with them? Would they be prepared to come back and do that on a regular basis?
Yeah. And it was amazing because even when we watched it on the Friday, we got to see the unedited cut with the children. And we were saying to the kids, which would you prefer, a play on the stage or filming? Now, I thought they were going to say a play on the stage, because with filming you're start and stop and start and stop.
They want the silver screen, don't
they?
They all were like, oh, the movie. So it was great.
Brilliant.
Great. It was great to see the kids one day we were shooting was spilling all day, and one of them, Adam, actually sat behind the scene, and he was the director. And he was just worn out, but he was still shouting, "Cut!"
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope you do continue, and I'm sure you can apply for funding to support this if you do it
Hopefully,
on a regular basis.
It's a very worthwhile project,
Yeah.
that sounds, definitely.
Yeah, you should look at Create and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure
yeah.
they'd fund it, you know. When are we going to be able to see it then?
Hopefully in the Fla.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Good.
Breffney was saying from Piece 3 they're going to hopefully run it in the Fla, you know,
Okay.
as part of it. So,
Excellent.
yeah, it's fairly soon.
Who knows? Maybe
And so what's up?
TV. And
Well, we'll definitely get it on the TV.
Cavan TV special.
Yeah,
for your launch. Yeah.
Definitely. What's up next? So what are the plans?
Yeah.
So you're obviously
We're
creative.
busy. Well, at the moment, I'm working with the Irish Dancing School in Mull on a dance drama for the Fla.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then Liam's in Joe Dolan show. So
Are you in Joe Dolan?
I am, yeah.
How's that going? That has had huge success. How do you
Huge,
find
yeah.
time to do anything else?
It's very hard, very difficult.
Yeah.
Juggling work and home and everything, but it's just when you know
It
you
has
know,
to be done.
It has to be done.
If
When
you're
you're a
passionate
star,
about something,
when you're a star, it has to be done.
Well,
So-
folks, if anyone like in the locality of Mulla wants to get involved, or across the county wants to get involved, how do they get in touch with you, or is it? Do
At
you
the
want to give them
moment,
contact?
contact either of us.
Yeah.
Give us a ring or contact anybody.
or maybe give out your
Yeah, we'll give
mobiles.
out- yeah.
Just
mine's it's Catherine on 086 8133 887.
or Liam on 087 969 0072.
Lovely, excellent. Well, thank you guys for coming in. It's
Thank
been
you
great
very
having
much.
you, absolutely. And after the break, we'll be coming back with things to do over the Bank Holiday weekend, Kate. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun. Hope you'll have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back, folks. This is Forum Views, the Cavan TV magazine show hosted by Daniel Downey and Kate Ennells. And we're on air every Friday between 7 and 8 p.m. Now, next week we go live and we're going to have an hour's discussion with local people about local issues and national news. So if you want to get involved, do contact us at drumlinmedia@gmail.com.
So what have we got on this weekend, Kate? Obviously this weekend's the County Fla in
Well, it's the
Killashandra.
bank holiday weekend.
Well, the streets will be full of music and there's a family fun day at the lakeside, so pop down for that on Sunday and it's over the weekend.
Okay, and then also there's another walking festival this weekend. There's the Hawkswood Walk on Saturday, starting at Trivia House, Swanland Bar, and at 2 o'clock. And on Sunday, there's the Quilca Walk again at 2 p.m, starting at the Belle Valley. It's €5 for each walk, but there's a big barbecue and party after.
There's also an Ulster Tug of War at 2 p.m, and that's check the cells for local details at Bono.
Yeah,
Yep.
That'll be really good, I think.
Yeah.
Following, what else is on? There's the Killinkeer.
Yeah.
There's the
Jamboree.
Killinkeer Jamboree, isn't there,
Yeah.
on? So check the Anglo-Celt for that. And then for more fun as well, you can go to Arva because they're having a soapbox derby on Sunday at 3 p.m. And that's going to be followed by a fancy dress ball in the Breffni Inn at 10 p.m. And the proceeds go to Barrettstown, which is a very good cause.
You know what? There's a mighty European American truck show at the Equestrian Centre between 11 and 7 on Sunday and 11 and 3 on Monday. I love those giant American trucks.
And I like the European ones, they're so pretty. But anyway, from trucks to wheelbarrow racing, can you believe this? There are 2 teams having a race pushing wheelbarrows, right? One team leaves from Kells and the other one leaves from Baileyborough, and the winner is the first one to get to Muller. So I'm going to put €5 on Baileyborough, I reckon, myself.
Don't forget the blind date in Smiths afterwards.
Yeah.
You know,
God,
Turbot
amazing.
Island in Belturbet is hosting its first music event in over 800 years. On Lochran Lynn Brass Band, the Cavan Rugby All-Male Choir and Ulster Youth Orchestra will be performing 5 to 8 on Saturday, €10 per person or €20 per family. It's going to be a fantastic event.
Yeah, that's a fantastic setting for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to be that one of the highlights of the summer. No
And
doubt about
every
it.
summer, I think yearly.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, for
good.
some young people anyway, the ice cream party in Corner Sleeve in Tynans is on 12:30 to 6:30, and it's sponsored by HB. Proceeds go to Down Syndrome Ireland, and there's a bouncy castle.
Nothing bouncy castle. Oh my God, I'm not sure about mixing bounces and ice cream. But of course, folks, as well as I've already mentioned, the Killinkeer, and we haven't got time to go through that.
Maybe we should end with a calm dusk chorus walk on Saturday in Killikeen at 8:30. Enjoy your weekend, folks, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I plan to. We're celebrating birthdays in my house.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. So don't forget, if you want to join our panel of reviewers next week or any Friday night to come on live and have some fun, it is fun, contact us at drumlinmedia@gmail.com. So, bye for now.
Bye.
Oh, yes.
Also, Kate, just a reminder to vote for the Begrudgers. We opened with that story. Let's finish with it as well.
Okay.
It's so well needed. So it's a great,
Well
great
deserved.
thing.
Well deserved.
Yeah. Okay.
Gemma! Snow, come on.
I think I'm going to stay.
I miss you, Snout. How could you do that to me? Why? Why is my heart in pieces, my soul a lonely carcass, roaming through a desert of emotions? Why? Why? I'm a lost begrudger, not able to carry on. Destroying dreams don't feel right, now that your sneer is gone.
Loves my brother Roger, now that he's kissed her. An Englishman knows and the and the girls all standing around me go. Now
tasting like a lemon. Juice on the outside, but probably still a virgin. Still a virgin. Bow, bow.